Okay.
No.
Well, I won't
That's
ruin
from
the
a
Sixth
while
Sense.
ago. I would hope they
I
would have.
know, it was decades ago.
I don't want to ruin it, but Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's dad. Okay, anyway, so anyway, when they give the big reveal at the end of this movie, I got this giant, like I already had 102 fever. I got this crazy chill that went through me, and I sat on the floor. I started clapping, and I was like, that was good. You got me. And that's what I love to do. And I hope I can do that with every episode of The Inn. There are twists and turns that we plotted out, and the unexpected is so scary and fun to me, and that's the ride that I hope to bring everybody on.
You've done that very well from what I've seen so far. I mean, I'm caught up, of course, to where you left off at, but there's times that I'm thinking, well, could she, is she, was he, and then you got to keep watching because you don't know for sure.
Wait, one more time, David?
What? And why isn't she? How come? And why not?
Yeah, right.
Exactly. That was Denise will back me up on this. That was every Hitchcock female lead character. They were never who they said they were going to be, and we love that about them. He loved dangerous women. He loved, Marion Crane was a terrible person in Psycho. She steals $4,000 or $5,000, and she drives away out of town with it. And she, that whole part is, sort of, because she gets, what comes to her pretty quickly when she enters Norman Bates' world, the hotel. But she wasn't a very good person. And there's a moment in The Birds, I talked about this too, Tippi Hedren's character moves to that small town, and that's when the bird infestation starts. And there's a moment where they're all going crazy because of the birds, and there's this moment where, unless I'm remembering this wrong, but there's a moment where a woman screams at her and says, you did this, you brought this, it's because of you all this is happening. And then Tippi just slaps her. And it's so good because the character's so sweet and nice. And then maybe she's not so sweet and nice.
I honestly think Steve could teach a class on Hitchcock films. I think he knows them better than anyone I've ever known.
Oh, I have to agree with you there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you.
I'll take it.
I have a question for you, Steve. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, go.
The ball thing, which I love, with Riggs, the hands with the ball, which I was crazy about. Is that purely you, or does that reference something in Hitchcock?
Oh, wait a minute. When he
reaches for the ball, she pulls it up. He takes his hand away. And they move in sync. I love that.
That was that's from the first episode of this season. That was the third take. That was all Chuck, the actor. He did that himself.
Was it?
I didn't even direct him. We were in a third take, and she was holding the ball, and he reaches out for it, and she pulls it away immediately like a child. And we loved it. We're just like, oh, so good. The ball itself is a reference to a movie which I've talked about many times. I won't bore everybody again. There's a movie called The Changeling. Go watch The Changeling, and you will start laughing because the ball shows up. I stole the ball idea right from The Changeling because I love the movie so much.
Huh.
I have not seen that movie yet. I think I started to watch it one day, and I don't know what happened where I never finished watching it. But is it with Eddie Alderson?
No, it's a George C. Scott movie.
Okay. Then maybe
George
it's a different one I'm thinking of.
It is a terrifyingly scary movie in its simplicity. There's no blood and guts. It is about a man who loses his family, moves across the country, and rents a house, and the house has a secret. And that's all I will say. It is the scariest movie. Do not watch it at night alone.
And Thank you for telling me that.
And I think Denise will agree with this. I mean, George C. Scott was such a brilliant actor, and he's so amazing in this. Anyway, so that's where the ball comes from. But that was all Chuck. Chuck's terrific.
It was so gorgeous. I mean, it was just perfect.
Now, Denise, you in the series, you have white hair. Whose idea was for you to have that? I mean, it fits the part perfectly.
It was one of the things that Steve said to me that determined me that nobody else was going to play that part. He called it gray. It actually is called a gray. It's called a light salt and pepper. And when you put it next to real white, you can see the difference.
Okay.
And it was my effort to fulfill the description he had given me. And I love it, except I had to struggle a little bit with it. I mean, I loved it. From the minute I put it on in the wig shop and I said, that's the one, and I sort of, did myself up and looked in and thought I looked glam and gorgeous. And our wonderful, wonderful DP, on whom I have the world's biggest crush, was heard to say to Steve at one point, really makes her look older. And that, shoot. I didn't say shoot, but I'm cleaning it up.
Yeah.
Oh, my. You know what's so funny? It's so funny because every time Denise and I have worked together, in Pretty we glammed her up to look like a beauty pageant, so she was, gorgeous. And this is a time where I called her and I said, you're going to kill me because I need you to play beyond your age. And then she's like, this is what every actress wants to hear. I need you to play an old crone.
Oh, my God.
But I love it. I love that wig. I love putting it on. I love being her. I love the way it looks on camera. I'm enjoying it hugely. I'm just saying to myself, where is it right now? I better go look for it. Okay. I'm just reminding myself.
What do you like about playing Lola?
I don't know. I love the description, and it was the gray bob that he told me was how he saw her, and I thought, oh yeah. And then I got very very soon after that, might have been the same day. Steve sent me the original script on Lola on the Inn, and I thought, okay, this is good. And I went back and like you do when you're an actor, I just started reading her lines out loud. And I found her voice, and I don't know what it was. I just fell madly in love with her and felt that I knew who she was. And, in fact, she really has, and I was thinking about this today, she really has been a game changer for me in acting. I don't know how to explain it better than that to you because I haven't thought it through enough, but playing Lola, being Lola, finding Lola, having Lola there in me and her, whatever that is, and then having the freedom that you get working with. I mean, it sounds like he's a Svengali, but there's just incredible freedom working with him, and these are things that are outside of the norm for me. She made a huge, huge change in my life and in my work, which I'm now feeling because I went back to do some stuff on GH, and I'm feeling it carry over there. So I don't know what it is, but I'm crazy about her.
We had a really fun time playing and creating that character, all the characters, but especially Lola, because Lola, especially in the first season, was a little bit of, lightness and comic relief to a darker story. But keep watching because there's questions about exactly who everybody is as we keep going, so we'll see if that keeps going. But it was funny because Denise and I, 20 years ago, did my very first play. She was the star of my very first play, and she played a Brooklyn Jewish mother, not quite far from my own. And when we were filming the Inn, there were moments where I would say to you, Denise, where I'm like, you are starting to sound exactly like my mother. And you'd go, am I? Because we gave her a little northeastern, New York, a little bit of an accent. But every now and then we're like, I think we're going too far.
He said that to me once doing the Inn. He said, tone the New York down. And I thought it was wonderful. But I did.
No, but she does it so well. It's just enough. It's just enough. It's perfect because we question always, like, where are we? Clearly from our surroundings, and we, Denise and I spoke about this a long time ago. This is not a New England Inn. This is a middle of nowhere mountain town in even, the very first shot when you see Jane's car, which is actually our producer Heidi's car. And thank God Heidi got in a very minor fender bender because you can see, because the very front shot of her car, you can see where the fender bender was, and she showed up, she's like, I had a little accident. I'm like, oh my God, even better. Because I was planning because you know me, I would have taken a baseball bat to the front. No, I'm kidding.
No, he would not have, but he would talk about it a lot.
Right. No, we find a way to spray it. But that's the thing, is creating all those little nuances. And the question I keep getting over and over among many questions, which I love, one of the questions is Lola wearing a wig? Not is Denise wearing a wig. Is Lola wearing a wig? And I love that.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh. Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, next time when we have a bigger budget, I'll get a real hair wig, and that'll solve the problem.
David, you had some questions for Denise, I believe.
Yes, Denise. Who is Lola patterned after? And this is to both of you. What can we look forward to in Lola's life?
Who is she patterned after? Doing Mother's Day, which is the play that Steve was referring to earlier, which came from his psyche, his background. It's his mom. He would do his mom for me on the phone, and I had a lot of trouble getting the accent. But I finally did in time for the show, and when I met her, she sounds nothing like Steve doing her, actually.
Yeah.
But it's a fun thing to do. And when I found her voice, I don't know. All I can say to you is she came out of those pages. She suddenly was there as I started, instead of talking like me, and Steve talking about the comedy, there were certain lines that she had that I thought, oh, I'm going to get to say that. And then usually he would cut away from me at that moment to another character. But it's okay. I've survived that. She just was there. I don't know how to explain it to you. It was a very strange feeling. As I said, it was a game changer for me in acting and how I work and everything. She just was there, and I loved her. And the only thing I knew about her was it has been a long and colorful life. She's the sailor mouth side of me keeps wanting to come out, and I keep trying to stop.
You can say anything you want to.
Well,
this is internet radio, so.
I know, but I get carried away. I was always such a shy kid and so well-mannered and such the good girl that I suddenly become, the tart from because the fleet is in or something. I don't know. She's really straightforward, and she says it like it is, and she's the voice of, oh, cut the crap. And I love her. I don't think that I did anything to find her. I think she found me. That sounds bizarre.
Yeah, it sounds that way.
About it.
Sounds that way. Mm-hmm.
Now, what's coming up, Steve?
Well, before you go into that, if you could just give a quick recap for season 1 for our listeners, maybe those that haven't seen it.
Oh, sure.
That would be Steve. He'll do that best.
Oh, I can do that in 2 seconds. It's the rules of every horror movie. Don't break down. Jane's car broke down. Don't talk to strangers. She talked to strangers. And don't check in. And she checked in. It's pretty much, that was the promo that we wrote that I thought was funny. Like when we did it, and then we did it without Jonathan Cook, the brilliant Jonathan Cook voiceover announcer friend of mine who put the voice in. He works all the time. And when he put the voice in, all of a sudden it wasn't, tongue-in-cheek, and it was like, oh, crap, that's scary. Basically, Jane is broken down in a small town, and she checks into the inn, and as soon as she does, very strange things start happening. And we get to know her, and we get to find out about her, and we find out that her husband has passed away, and she's trying to get his ashes to some undisclosed location for some sort of ceremony, and they all offer to help, but know she has to do it on her own, and Lola sort of takes her under her wing, and the sheriff's treating her kind of strangely, but then strange things happen at the house, and a very mystery ghost man confronts her